And welcome back to the Ghost and Friends YouTube channel. Not quite as big of smiles coming into this one as we had the last few shows, but we're here. We're here to stand on it. Nash Talks Texas, Mr. Robert Mendoza back as well, and a man of many names. You can call him Pencil Jack Pencil. You can call him President, CEO, King of the Pencil Talk Pod, or you can call him by his name, Mr. Jack DeLongchamps. How are we doing tonight, brother? Thanks for being here.
Gentlemen, thanks for having me, boys. Stoked to be on board.
Absolutely, man. Well, again, he's probably driving right now to do a little more work. We've got him while he's on the road. Again, Mr. Nash and Mr. Mendoza back. Last week, fellas, we were feeling pretty good. Coming off a clean sweep of Texas A&M. You're riding about as high as you can. There were talks and discussions of a Shiesty retirement. I think we started to plan that started to plan it out and everything. Started contacting some food trucks, some vendors. We were going to make it a whole ordeal, but instead, Shiesty has made its return here on a glorious Monday evening. Robert, we'll start with you, brother. Tough weekend, but you're a man that knows baseball. You've seen a lot of it played right in front of your very eyes. Talk a little bit about the weekend and kind of, what went wrong and where it went wrong, but then also, what this means going forward for Texas.
You got it. Well, I think one of the things that was brought up today, just looking at the schedule and kind of how we got to this point, there was a Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday travel day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So that Wednesday was a travel day there. You want to talk about a total beatdown going into that travel day as a college kid going through finals and then jumping on a plane and riding that emotional roller coaster that they had with A&M. It's tough, but I'll tell you something that happened for those of you guys who traveled. I was unprepared mentally and emotionally for the abuse that we took from the fans. Man, I was so.
I should have warned you. I should have warned you a little bit more, man. They hate us. They hate us, man.
Okay, I had no idea of the hatred that they have for us, and I had no idea that it was their World Series. Like, I thought it was two good teams going into the weekend, like, hey, we're battling it out. It's gonna be a dogfight. There's mutual respect amongst the team. I heard things as a grown man that I've never heard in my entire life being said to the kids in the bullpen. There was so much intimidation coming across from the bullpen guys, the grown men, like bashing our kids in the bullpen area. And I was so blown away that we were down 9-0, but I think it had to do with the shock of the environment and the stuff that was happening that I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And then at the end of the game, I went down and talked to Ethan. He's like, Dad, that was the most fun I've ever had playing baseball. And I'm like, dude, you just sucked it up for 9 innings, bro. Like, it was the most brutal baseball I've ever seen you guys play. And I think that the kids, and this is just me looking at it from the outside, I think the kids were unprepared for what they were going to see in the environment, what to expect. I didn't realize the hatred amongst the two teams, but and then going into the Friday game, okay, so Galvan hits the bomb. We had some crucial moments there where we could have broke the game open and did some things offensively that we didn't do. We didn't execute. The arms that were coming out, man, they were electric. Holy cow. Like, I wasn't expecting that. It was a firm 98 and it was a heavy 98. There's a difference between like a light 98 and then a firm 98. And I saw a firm, heavy 98. I mean, barrels were getting bounced backwards and like, it was impressive. I was totally impressed. But then we competed a little bit going into the Saturday game, and we made a lot of mistakes pitching wise. We made a few key mistakes defensively. but we didn't capitalize offensively, man. They executed a pitching plan that they had against us, and they executed to a T. So hats off to Arkansas for getting after our butts, man. I left there Saturday morning. I didn't even go to game 3 because my little 11-year-old that was with me, he was in tears, man. He was so emotional about the loss. But I think he was more emotional about the 64-year-old man who was going horns down at us the entire game. Everything that went wrong, every time something went Arkansas's way, that man he just stared us down the entire time. And it was like, okay, dude, we're either going to fight, number one, because I'm not letting you do this to my 11-year-old, or our guys need to step up for me right here because I'm about to get thrown in jail and I don't know anyone in Arkansas. So, man, it was just a dogfight in the stands. It was a dogfight on the field. And I left there literally wondering how better could I have prepared as a fan, but more so, how could the team have been prepared for that? And really, you have to walk out of that saying, okay, now I know. And I think it was good for us to get punched in the mouth, but it was good to experience that kind of environment because we haven't been in that kind of environment, in my opinion. I haven't seen that. But Ethan had a good time. I know that. He sucked it up all weekend. So, take that with a grain of salt, but he enjoyed the environment. It was pretty special.
Yeah, it's
I will say that
probably...
those are two really good points when you talk about the fastballs and just being heavy. The big difference I used to talk about all the time. There's a kid in our district who threw 93, 94, but it felt a lot heavier than some of the 96, 97s that you would see on occasion. And I didn't like it. Bat felt dead anytime you make contact. But also, man, welcome to Fayette Nam. That is Texas and Arkansas, a very, very slept on, a very, very slowly awakening rivalry, I'll say. And it's really good. Arkansas is not in football where they want to be, obviously, and where Texas is, nowhere close. Two programs on different trend lines. But if Arkansas was to ever rise up again, I mean, those matchups would be absolutely insane, if maybe not worse than what you just experienced. I hate that y'all have to go through that. At the same time, I'm not shocked at all because Arkansas does hate Texas with every fiber of their being. I got a question for you, Mr. Jack. How good was Zach Root and Gage Wood, and how much credit do you give them? But then almost how bad was Texas at the plate this weekend with approach and just overall ABs?
No, I don't see it like that, man. I do see this weekend as kind of what has been the testament to the SEC all season long. Boys, what we're seeing right now is historic. Like that, there is no other way to put it. Week in and week out in this conference has been a gauntlet that we have never witnessed before. By adding OU, by adding Texas, you're going to see the SEC, in my opinion, get 14 teams in. You're going to see 8 regional hosts. You're going to see 6 national hosts. And it's okay for your team to have an off weekend. I think that is like, outside of Texas, who's been damn near perfect all season long, every SEC team at one point this season has gone, damn, what the hell's wrong with us? Yeah. On Mondays, it's okay to go, hey, we may have just played an Omaha team this weekend. That's okay to admit. And, to your point, I think what makes this squad really special, and Coach, talking about your son, right? Like, they love playing in that moment. To me, this isn't a hangover for UT of coming off the high that was playing in the Lone Star Showdown. To me, this is, wow. I think Arkansas is probably a top 3, top 4 team in the country. And Zach Root went into that, to your point, going, well, this is kind of our World Series. If we want to be a national host, we have to win 2 of 3 this weekend. You sweep, you almost basically confirm a national host site. So, their fans are crazy as hell. They know it, and they want to play in front of them. Zach Root's really stupid. Had the opportunity to broadcast him last year when he was in the Carolinas, obviously. And they're a really interesting ball club. You've seen them, like even what they did in Athens. And I think they're a little bit more offensive than they have maybe in the past half decade, where they've always done it really well, dating back to their Golden Spikes guy in 21 and Cops. But I'll tell you this, boys, I hate to be the guy to foreshadow, but 7 SEC national champions in the last 7 years. 7 different schools. Are we looking at number 8? Because the 2 teams we saw all over the weekend fit that bill.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
And it's also not just national championships. It's like national finalists. I think back to the last 7 years, there's only been like 1 or 2 non-SEC finalists. Like Michigan and someone else, I forget.
That was the most well-rounded team like that I've seen in terms of pitching, offense, base running. They executed a few steals on us that we haven't really given up. They executed, man, and like I said, the arms were electric all weekend long. I felt like at any given moment there was going to be a 98-mile-an-hour fastball blown by one of us in a key moment, or there was going to be a slider that was down and away. And man, it was electric. I was blown away just from the weekend of the quality of team. And I left there questioning, how in the world have they lost? How did they lose the last 3 weekends?
Well, and they haven't. They're the only SEC team at this point that hasn't been swept.
That team's solid, man. I was impressed.
Well, I mean, and you make another good point right there, Nash. Robert, you mentioned earlier, like, Arkansas lost 3 series in a row. It's a damn good baseball team with a damn good, coach. Van Horn's been great for a long time there and had like you just said, Jack, a ton of talent there that is very accomplished. They weren't going to just stay down forever. I mean, they were eventually going to bust out of a little bit of a slump and win their series. They're going to throw the baseball a little bit better. And I mean, Texas, we've been riding high for such a very long time, and you have a big emotional weekend when A&M comes to town. Sometimes, and I'm not saying this is what happened, but I mean, like, sometimes you do have a little bit tougher time getting back up for that next one. And no disrespect to our last Tuesday opponent, but I mean, obviously not the same beast as the Arkansas Razorbacks. And so I think, I'm not panicking. Any of you gentlemen panicking? I know, Jack, you just said, pretty calm and collected, trying to keep Texas fans to be that way as well. But Nash, Robert, any lingering effects as far as what this will do to Texas' psyche going forward?
Not personally. I think that this is like kind of Robert talked about this earlier. I think this is a really good thing for this team to get in such a hostile environment, because they're not going to be in that hostile environment the rest of the way through. Even if they get to Omaha. I mean, like, when you want to talk about the hostility, you look at the crowd out there. It was really, really hard to sit there and even try and find a burnt orange fan. There were so many Razorback fans out there. So just how loud it gets, all that sort of stuff, like, it's one of those things that really kind of tests this team, and almost, sometimes it'll can serve as a wake up call. But I think the biggest thing is now Max Weiner and Jim Schlossnagle, they don't have to avoid it. Before it was like, okay, and especially Tulo, it's like, hey, you got to mitigate how much you pat guys on the back, right? Because you don't want them getting too high. And now you can actually go out there and you can coach. You can really rip into some guys and say, hey, you screwed up you just screwed up, right? Yeah. Like, before, it's like, hey, what are you going to tell Rylan Galvan, right? Like, what are you going to tell him? You can't really tell him shit. But now you can kind of talk to him. Hey, we need a little bit of a better approach. He obviously still had a really good approach for how he did, but that's just using one name as an example.
I like that a lot, man. I mean, I think Schloss will probably coach the guys pretty hard, especially with some of the mental errors and uncommon, mental errors and mistakes that Texas made throughout the 3-game stretch. Now, welcome back, Extreme Gamer Mac, my favorite Sooner here on YouTube. I will say this, man. We saw a lot of this weekend, so this isn't anything new. I'm going to let Jack address this a little bit. A lot of talk about Texas and having to go on the road and face a decent team, and of course this happens. But let me say one thing to you, Mac. Tell me where a regional is going to be played. Tell me where the super regional is going to be played. Then tell me where Omaha is. Texas doesn't have to go on the road one more time. It's to your beloved Oklahoma Sooners. And so if y'all continue, to push that envelope, it's like, we got to win in Omaha. We don't have to go win, or Austin and the regional or super. But Jack, talk to us a little bit, man. There's a lot of publicity over the weekend going around. Hey, Texas finally has to go on a road. They're dating it back to last year with the football schedule and lumping in the baseball schedule and saying Texas is, getting a little bit of a little extra love from the SEC. You give any credits to any of that? You there, Jack?
Yeah, boys, you got me, boys.
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead. Did you hear what I asked?
He's probably cutting in.
He'll come back.
Hey, Ghost, while we get some service on him, I just wanted to kind of touch on the lingering effects of this loss. I think the kids pick up and they're ready for it mentally. I really do. I think they bounce back. So I was talking to Ethan today. He's like, man, the coaching staff was great. They handled it great. I felt like the message that they were communicating to us as players was great. And obviously we played like crap. And he admitted to, hey, man, we got out of our own comfort zone and we didn't handle it well. So you can't recreate that environment. And I think that they're going to be super prepared for it going into Florida. It's going to be tough the rest of the way. And so somebody mentioned earlier today that there was it puts us in a position where now the games on the back end of the season are meaningful in the way, like if we would have won 2 out of 3, maybe you lock up the SEC and then maybe cruise the rest of the way. And that's tough because then it's hard to bounce back. So I think that it was a good loss. It was a good loss for us. It was tough to watch, but I think it was good. So Ethan was positive about the messages that were coming across and the guys, how they handled that.
No, I like that a lot, man. I mean, it's what Texas has done all year. Now, usually it's bouncing back after one loss. This time it's just 3, but again, in a tough environment against a very good, very talented baseball team, albeit they have struggled in the postseason about maybe reaching their ceiling there. So I'll give you credit for that. Aggressively optimistic Texas fan, my guy. But I'm not panicking. I've seen a lot of people, they immediately assume that this is, the beginning of the end for Texas. Now, I'm still more concerned with an injury to Jared Spencer than I am about what just happened over the last 3 days. Jack, you with us, brother?
I'm sorry about that. I hate to inform college baseball fans, but you're supposed to remain biased and down the middle in reporting efforts. But as someone whose dad, whose grandpa, whose uncle all wore burnt orange, I think you mentioned one of those paper clips and my service just bailed on me. Can't believe that. No, well, I heard you loud and clear, dude. I think to Robert's point, Coach, you bring up the travel aspect, and I think that's the biggest piece of the puzzle that people are forgetting, right? Like, hey, first year in the SEC, second team that was ever fastest, 19 wins in the history. I think now comes the conversation is shuffle the deck on the weekend. Max Weiner is a genius of a pitching coach, but it's really, really hard for young men to get into a routine, right? When you're having to maybe go from phone on Sundays to Fridays to now Thursdays, right? Like that's not easy. Zone against one of the best teams in the country, really, to I guess echo your point, which is losing to Jared Spencer is insanely difficult for any team in the country. Like it just is. No hiding around the fact. And it's not just losing the star power or that scary dude on Friday night that just presents this aura. It just is like finding a new rhythm for guys on the weekend. So that would be my only worry, right? Like, how do you get those dudes dialed back into a groove? You've obviously got one of the best coaching staff, if not the best coaching staff, to make sure those guys are best prepared. But try me with this difficult schedule thing. Just allow it to fit your narrative and then utilize it for your argument. Sure, if that makes you sleep better at night.
Jack, were you surprised that they didn't flip the pitching staff at all?
A little bit, but I also know that I have 1/10 the IQ of Max Weiner. So when he says jump, I say how high. He says run, I say how fast. But yeah, a little bit. I mean, you've just taken a kid and completely taken him out of his comfort zone. But obviously with Ruger, like his comfort zone is everybody's uncomfortability. Like, sure, if there was anybody that was going to be able to do it, I had no problem with him rocking and rolling on Thursday. But yeah, like it's just really difficult. You play a midweek on Tuesday. Schloss jokes about it raining, and damn turf field keeps you from turning the sprinklers on because they really could have utilized a breather with the travel day on Wednesday.
Yeah, I agree.
That's really well said, Jack. Thanks for the insight. I mean, if you had to make a choice, what would be your ideal, Friday, Saturday, Sunday rotation with the available guys to Max and Schloss?
Oh, I don't know, man. You boys put me on the spot a little bit. I like the three that they ran out against A&M. I think, especially on Sunday, I think when you talk about what Flores can give you versus what he is giving you, I say trust the system, man. Keep rolling the dice. Your academic weapon on Saturdays, and I really think Ruger has the moxie on Friday. Like, to me, it's not about stuff. It's about what's in between the ears. And when that kid steps on the rubber, dude, I got no problem with him facing off against anybody in the country because every time he grabs the ball, he's the best damn pitcher in the land. And that you cannot teach. And that's what you have to have on Friday night.
And I think honestly too, like his game versus Arkansas, he actually had a lot of good stuff. Right, he was pitching well. It's just when they touched the ball, it was going over the fence and it was flying. And this is an abnormal thing for Ruger. So, I really agree with you. I not only do I trust Ruger, right, but I want him in that I want him in that opening role. Like this is like this just the mentality that we want to present as a team for game one. Personally, I probably would have liked to see them go to Thomas Burns in game 3 to get the start. Now I know he didn't really have the best day out there, but I mean, still, it's just it's earlier in the year they had talked about wanting to move Burns back to that starting role because that's what he was at Arizona State, and then he's been getting deep into the pitch counts. So I really, now granted, like you just said, Max Weiner is a lot smarter than me when it comes to pitch coaching, being a pitching coach. But I personally would have liked to see Max Grubb stay in that role because I don't think that there's not that many people that just have the mentality where they not only, are able to handle a really tense situation or stressful situation, but Max he thrives in that shit, man. Like when the bullets are flying, that's when Max is at his best.
Well, altogether, man. I mean, I don't think there is a correct answer. I like Flores coming out because he has really good stuff. Again, like Jack just said, it's what he's capable of giving us, and still, eventually you do have to see it. So, I mean, it's definitely probably going to have a revolving door potentially as far as Sunday and just who's on the mound from start to finish, regardless of who gets the actual nod on the mound. But, Robert, I think earlier you said it really well, just the shock factor of going into Arkansas, the rabid Razorback crowd. But then also, when Arkansas scored, they did it in bunches and they did it early in games. They hop on us early on Thursday, Friday. Saturday, we put up a 3 spot. They score 12 over the next 5 innings.
Yeah.
And so, I'm not looking at this pitching staff in this weekend and saying, okay, that is who you are or who you're becoming.
No.
This is a damn good conference, a damn good lineup. You ran into a team that was really, really needing to pick up a series win. And, they did that and more. But let's get off of this. This is not fun. Honestly, it sucks talking about Texas getting swept by Arkansas. We paid our credit. They're a damn good club. Jack, appreciate you sharing some thoughts on that with us. But let's talk a little bit about a very hot Florida team coming to the dish. When you look at Florida right now, Jack, what really stands out? What are they doing a lot better as of late compared to maybe earlier in conference play?
It's kind of like the same narrative when the Aggies rolled into town. To me, I know a lot of people jump ship because it's easy to do in such a toxic Twitter world. But, dude, I'm just not going to count out, like the Aggies with how talented they were. I'll never count out Sully and the Gators just because he's won forever. Right? Like, you'd be insane to do so. He's a little crazy, but so am I. So I'm all in. They talk about a team that's been a little battered and beaten up. A kid that I love for them, Ty Evans. He's a veteran. He's their captain. Big, strong, physical kid, but more so his presence in that locker room. Everything I keep hearing coming out of Gainesville is like what he's been able to do with a lot of their youngsters and how they were able to sustain on the weekend. Pierce Capolo is a guy that's, 7'7", it feels like, with just insane shit. And, you lose him on the weekend, and it's kind of, what you see when teams lose one of their best weekend arms. Like, you almost – everyone's got a plan until you get hit in the mouth. Everyone's got a great three starters on the weekend. opening weekend. Then all of a sudden you lose a couple guys. How do you bounce back? It took them a while to bounce back, but the difference between Florida this year and last, they've been much better in the midweek, which gave me a lot of hope for them to be better in the second half of SEC play. They've taken care of weekend series that they needed to, and they're playing their best baseball of late. So it's going to be a heck of a test for the Longhorns, and it's going to be kind of another weekend where, similar to Arkansas, not really necessarily fair because Arkansas was a guaranteed host spot, but they're kind of must-win games for Florida. Like, they feel like they're fighting for their lives. So it's that age-old adage of like, hey, would you rather be the hunter or the hunted? And every single game in the back half for those bubble teams in the SEC feels like do or die, whereas the Longhorns are super cozy and comfortable in their number one spot. So it's going to be a hell of a test. I say cozy and comfortable. I hope none of the coaches hear me say that because I know that's not how they feel. But y'all know what the hell I meant. But if that Florida team's dangerous, and every time Sully's staring you down from the opposing dugout, you got to be a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely. Go ahead, Nash. Rip it, Bubba.
I was going to say, I think people, it's really easy to forget this Florida team started off 17-2 before they ran into a Tennessee buzzsaw, right? Like, it's like, and not only that, but like they have a lot of really good hitters. I would say if you're looking at the top of the SEC hitter, like best hitters in the SEC, as far as like the teams that have the most consistency, there's Arkansas and then there's Florida for putting the most guys up there at the top. But I mean, this is a really salty lineup, and like you said, I mean, like sometimes it's not good to run into a team like Florida because they can be like a rabid dog, right? Dog backed into a corner, and they're fighting for their lives. Like the margin for error is so small. They're going to be coming in and they're going to give Texas their best punch.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, yeah, they're hot, and another team. I mean, it's SEC every weekend. You know, it feels like you can say the same for every weekend. Every series we've gone into, maybe save Kentucky, which was still a road series. It's just like I don't think we looked at Kentucky the way that we looked at A&M, LSU, Georgia, Arkansas. I mean, this is every weekend. This is what it is. And again, it's an honor to be a part of this because not just, you know, that we have a ton of fun in the football season, seeing a lot of these new programs new to us, but we all knew the baseball was going to be probably just as more difficult, more equal, more balanced of a conference than football was. And here you are, man. I mean, it's a couple of these teams, Florida and A&M, that were really struggling here 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, and now are, you know, again, playing as well as anyone in the country. Talk about Mississippi State, you know, like programs like that once they get in, some really, really frustrated regional hosts when they see those seats selected in that regional. I mean, that's just how it is. And again, I'd prefer not to see Arkansas or A&M, not until we get to Omaha. And I know not in the regional, it's not a chance, but going forward, I mean, Robert, for you, what are you wanting and needing to see out of Texas offensively at the play this weekend? You know, is it, you know, same old approach, you know, just a little, maybe a touch more focus and with some of your own fans rooting for you opposed to Arkansas fans flipping you off while you're up there? What are your thoughts on some ABs at the plate for Texas versus the Gators?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to execute offensively with some short game. I think we got away from that. I don't think we tried to drag bunt one time this weekend. You know, I'd like to see Ethan. I'd like to see Jonah. I'd like to see a few guys kind of drop one down and put pressure on the defense a little bit, not let them just sit back and be comfortable on the mound. I'd like to see a little bit of hit and run, just put guys in motion and force guys to swing the bat. I think, you know, we got into a situation this past weekend where, you know, we were taking the fastball in the outer half. Our guys are still, you know, 2-3 inches off the white line. Not making the adjustment, and we're getting pelted and pounded away, and the umpire is just calling strike 3 on us, right? And we're going down looking, and it's like we've got to adapt. So I think that those types of things are going to help us in terms of like just forcing balls to be put in play. But the approach hasn't been terrible. I didn't think that we had a terrible approach at all. I think we could have been a little bit more aggressive, but man, they wore out the outer half. And I'm telling you, they were like 3-4 balls off the plate. And then they closed back in about 2 balls off the plate and they'd pound it, dot it. And the umpires fell into the trap, man. The crowd encouraged a lot of strike 3 calls. And Schloss talked about that today. He said, there are a lot of new umpires in the league that haven't handled the environment. They don't know about the environment. Similar to us, like I wasn't expecting anything that happened this week. I was not ready for that at all. So as an umpire, when you're hearing the hogs going crazy and stuff, and you're falling into the trap, that's going to hurt. That hurts our offense. So I didn't think our approach was terrible. And I think going into it, I think we need to contain ourselves and just continue to swing at good pitches. But it is going to be a dogfight, and I think that their pitching staff is going to execute a lot of pitches on the outer half. I watched their series this weekend, and I felt like, man, they're on the outer half a ton. So we have to adapt. We have to adjust to that. And if they umpires continue to call that, we can't just keep going down. Looking like, I don't know what we had, 20-something, 30-something Ks on the weekend. I don't know how many Ks we had, but it was too many. And that's just us adapting and adjusting to what's happening behind the plate. So I think it's going to be a better series because the umpires aren't going to be – I think our Texas fans give umpires a little bit of crap, but not to that extreme. That was obnoxiously gross. I was sick listening to them.
Yeah, Jack might have heard me chirping him once or twice.
Dude, that's a strong. I'm like, dude, he set up 0-2 in the other batter's box. It's a balk. But it's not a strike. It's a balk of anything. The catcher can't be that far out. And, man, we're getting hung up on it. And it's like, holy cow, dude. That was so discouraging. So I don't see that going forward. I really think that was an anomaly there. Excuse me. And I just felt like, okay, that we don't need to change anything moving forward. We're good. But just a little bit of adaptability to the umpire.
I saw – I was very fortunate. I will say, I guess before the weekend, I did consider myself fortunate because I was going to miss all of the Friday and all the Saturday action. Probably a place you've been before. I was at the old Houston Convention Center for the old Lone Star Regional, little season-ending volleyball tournament over there. I was actually thought about you. I was like, he's probably seen this whole dance once or twice. But so I was on the way Friday, driving the family over, and obviously I watched most of Thursday, saw how that went. And I think it's like the 5th or 6th inning, and I look up and I'm like, dang, we have 2 hits through 5. Okay, that means we have we have 1 hit through 5, I think it's okay. So we have 3 hits in our last 14 or 15 innings of play. And I was like, just gonna lower the expectations, put the phone back down, try to get it on Sunday. It's a good baseball team, and I don't think there's anything that needs to be changed. Anything? I mean, you dial it back in, and again, this is going to happen in the SEC. Schloss just said the same thing. Nash, talk about you had a post earlier today talking about the walk discrepancy between Texas and Arkansas, and just it's in my opinion, you got a lot of shit for it, undeserved shit. People from A&M, Arkansas, they came at you a little bit, but to me, I mean, it's just matter of fact. If Texas controlled the baseball a little bit better on the bump, I mean, naturally games are going to be tighter.
Well, let me just ask the guys that know like a lot of baseball here and coach and have played it. I mean, is it? I feel like it's not a hot take to say if you cut the walks that you're going to play a more competitive baseball game. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but apparently I'm coping, or I'm having a huge hot take right after saying Arkansas just beat the shit out of us. So I mean, I don't know what's going to happen on that one, but yeah, I mean, and I was actually, so I kept on thinking about this because it was funny. Like last week, Robert was talking about, hey, I'm starting to see Ethan walk more, and I'm all of a sudden becoming a fan of getting walks, right? And I'm like, yeah, I think this point's really being hammered home now after, I mean, you got Arkansas, they walk a guy, home run. get some guys, walk the bases loaded, home run, grand slam. And it's just like the solo home runs, solo shots don't kill you. The crooked home runs, those kill you. Walks will kill you in baseball games. And we gave up 31 walks on the weekend. And the previous high was 18, I think, versus Kentucky. And a lot of those walks are on the game that we lose. So, I mean, you walk teams, you're going to lose baseball games. That's just, it is what it is, because you can't afford to put runners on base. It's like I've said this. I'm just beat the dead horse on this one. It's the number one, the first way that you have to get to be able to score. The first thing you have to do, you have to get on base. And when you hit a guy, hit by pitch, you're giving him he doesn't have to put the ball in play. There's no errors that have to be made. There's nothing nothing good has to happen. They just get to go stand on first base. And then you do it again. Now they're on second base. And it just piles up and it adds up. But the one that also will kill you is when you do it with 2 strikes. We did it too many times with 2 strikes where we have a guy on 2-1-2, right? And then I don't think that we hit 2. I think it's like only 1 or 2, but it's almost inexcusable to hit a guy on 2 strikes. It's just like it's a loss of control of the pitch, and for us we need to be able to limit walks. I mean, if we had been able to limit walks, it's a much different ball game. I mean, sure, Arkansas, maybe they get some hits, but also maybe those batters that don't walk, maybe those guys strike out, maybe there's other guys that don't. So you're not going to be able to come up with the perfect hypothetical situation, but the score's a lot more close if you remove all their walks from their home runs.
And that's not an excuse. That's a matter of fact. Go ahead, Jack.
And Nash, I tell you this too, to your point, boys, stylistically, Florida's gonna try to beat you and lull you into playing their game. They're gonna try to make it a boat race. Like they want to play 10-8 games. They want to try to drag you into the deep waters and gator roll you, if you will. So you're right. Like if you eliminate the craziness, right? You eliminate the pressure, as Coach talked about wanting to instill that on them defensively. That's exactly what they're going to try to do to you. I know that it sounds like they're down Colby Shelton, who's I think leading the SEC in conference hitting, but they've got guys like Luke Heyman who experienced a little bit of a sophomore slump, but was huge his freshman year in their Omaha run. A guy like Brody Donay. I know our boys out in left field, occupy left field. Just be careful. Maybe wear a helmet during batting practice. Brody Donay has hit 2 baseballs over 500 feet this year. He's a freaking man-child. So they want dudes on the base pass, so they're freaking manimals with lethal assault weapons called baseball bats can try to go put dents into the scoreboard. So to your point, solo shots don't beat you. You give up a solo shot to Heyman or Donay, whatever. But when it becomes 2-3 run homers, that's when they get to start playing football score games, and it gets a little dicey.
And honestly, too, if you look at the roster, outside of Lawson, they're playing juniors and seniors. So this is a very experienced lineup, like you said. Like that, I think that goes to the whole like they try and pull you into their style of playing baseball. But I mean, really, too, like that Bobby Bozer dude. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, but that dude is
Bowser.
Legit. Yeah, Bowser. That dude is legit too. He can hit the crap out of the ball.
So you're saying it's another SEC team that we've got to play in?
Yeah. Hey, breaking news! Breaking news! The SEC is hard. Whoa, Robert! How dare we say a home game is going to be hard? Okay, hold on now. We got to make it a lot easier now.
The big question that I have is who's going to be the first one to lose Mizzou?
I was about to say they have a chance to do the funniest thing.
Hey, we lose to Florida. Okay, they got grown men that are like, they look like Tarzan and they play like Tarzan. But Lee, what about Mizzou? Let's
Jack. And if you don't want to answer, it's okay. Is this the worst SEC baseball team you've ever seen?
I won't answer that, but I'll tell you one thing: they're not going to win a game.
But Jack,
so take that if what you will.
Jack, do you know how difficult it is to lose every game? And I know they won games. I'm talking. Do you know how it's more difficult to lose every game?
Not in this conference. Than
it is to go undefeated.
I don't think in this conference. I think it's really easy to lose every game if you wanted to. Dude, ask A&M in Florida how they felt when they started 1-9, 1-10, 1-11. They're like, man, this losing thing is easy.
Well, not only that, too. Like, look at Missouri's schedule. Missouri's like got to be like they're messaging Greg Sankey, going like, what did we do? Right? What did we do to deserve this?
I'll tell you what.
LSU to start, Ole Miss, Texas, Arkansas, Florida, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M, Mississippi State. It's like, hey, I mean, maybe if you were to switch out Tennessee for one like Mississippi State, right? You're just like going down the list of all the top teams in the SEC.
Like, let's host Mississippi State.
But to be
Yeah.
fair, that's because they all get Mizzou. That's 3 games that are important in this conference. And when you get JUCO Mizzou for 3 of them, I mean that's big.
I'll tell you guys 2 things on the Mizzou topic. My boys over at 11.7 actually just did an updated standings on if you weren't allowed to play Mizzou this year. It actually is pretty interesting. It gets a little bit tighter. It's funny. Secondly, remember the Great Bambino, the curse of the Great Bambino?
Yep.
You traded him. Boston traded him to New York. It haunted them for 100 years. I'm not saying that Missouri deserves this. That'd be awful. No one deserves this.
No.
I'm just saying buckle up. You had an opportunity to bring Coach GQ home, and he didn't even get a call. They didn't even call Tony Vitello when it was time to hire him. Didn't even call him.
Wait, what? Not a call?
That's a true story, man.
Wow.
And here's the ironic part
Tony
too.
V's an alumni, and he played there, and he didn't get a call. It could be totally different.
Well, and the ironic part too is like when you think about it, like the Tennessee that Tony Vitello accepted
Dog
is
water.
not the Tennessee that they are today.
They were dog
So
water.
like
dude.
there's like if you get the money right, like that's like, hey, he's a coach of Missouri.
Oh, dude, it's a different ball game over there.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I don't know if I
they
should post
deserve it.
this
No, Jack, you
up
don't have
here,
to say it,
but-
but I'll say it for you, bro. They deserve it. Like they don't deserve to win a
Oh,
my
Ghost.
God.
Ghost. That was the first thing I saw.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Joseph.
look, it's
Hey,
just
now in all
yeah.
fairness, the other night, it was in the 9th inning, it was 2-2. If I'm not mistaken, I happened to just scroll across. It was 2-2 in the 9th. I was rooting so hard for Mizzou to just figure out a way, man. Just for the sake of the kids, dude. Like, how awful does that have to be as a kid to show up to the ballpark
Right.
knowing that, dude? Like, I can't even battle for my batting average right here because I don't even know if I'm going to get 3 at-bats in the full 9 innings.
I mean,
I'll tell
just
you
like
that-
Texas baseball, you've got someone in that crowd that's been there watching Mizzou. Maybe he's not at every single game, but he's been watching Mizzou baseball at the park for 30 or 40 years. And I mean, do it for that guy. Do it for the
Do it for
kiddos.
somebody there, man.
I will say before, Jack, I let you go. I did see that same thing when it was 2-2. And I was like, it's got to be bottom second, top of third, somewhere, because Mizzou can't hold anybody to just a couple. I mean, but go ahead, Jack. What were you going to say, brother?
No, I was about to make fun of myself. I'll tell you, dude. I know exactly what those guys were thinking. As a really insanely below average college baseball player, it's 6 mid majors where we couldn't even have spelled 500 baseball. I get it. It's easy to lose, man. It happens fast. Nevertheless, in the SEC, brother, those guys are going, hey, man, we get to face potentially 4 or 5 big leaguers this weekend. Let's go give it our best shot.
Hey, we struggled against Mizzou a little bit.
Hey,
I will
Jack.
say that.
Jack, if they had Occupy Left Field, they'd be out there doing the pregame fireball with them out there.
The kid.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you, as a 3-year bullpen catcher, I'd have been 6 or 7 in by the time that we threw first pitch.
Hey, not at
I
Texas,
said-
not at Texas, at Texas State.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
shit. Yeah, all right.
Oh.
I resonated with that kid a little bit far too much, let me tell you.
Let me ask you this, Jack, and they've obviously turned it around in a major fashion there. A&M winning the series versus LSU. Let's go ahead and assume, for good reason, that they do sweep JUCO Mizzou and get to what would that be? 13 conference wins. Has A&M done enough at that point to get in, or you think they still have a little work with Georgia in that last season finale?
No, I think they're in. Yeah, I've even gone on the record and before the season started. So 14 was the magic number in the SEC. It was always the magic number. When Ole Miss and Mississippi State, went on those miraculous runs by barely sneaking into the tournament in 21 and 22, 14 was the magic number in the SEC. You win 14 SEC games, you've earned the right to play in the conference tournament. Now, last year, a Florida team who played 500 baseball on the season won 13 games, and they got in. Now, I was a big advocate of, man, you have to at least show me that you can win in the midweeks. But they were so freaking – they had the greatest college baseball player in maybe the history of the sport. So you knew when they got in as a 3 seed they were going to be a problem. They sure enough go on this big run into Omaha. I say all of that because I'll take the SEC team with 8 wins over a lot of the field. But adding Texas or OU this year, right? I think the number's down to 12. I really do. Like, I think you win 12 SEC games. I think you've earned the opportunity to go play in the NCAA tournament. I really do. And I'm a mid-major guy. I played 6 years of mid-major baseball. I love telling those stories. I'm just saying that, like, to play in this league this year is so absurdly difficult that, to me, A&M has done plenty. I'm looking at teams, when you ask me the same question about a Kentucky, whose RPI current sits at a 41, I think they've done enough. Like, I just think that this league is that hard. I had made the argument going into the UT weekend for A&M. Let's say they go in and take 2 against Texas. Now, obviously, that doesn't happen. But let's say they go 5-1 on the rest of the year, right? A&M does. That would mean that they had a weekend series win against Georgia, LSU, at Tennessee, Arkansas. Like, you're starting to look at a potential regional host site. Now, I know I'm on a Texas pod right now, and these are probably heinous words to speak. Great. But I'm just saying that, like, this is the standard that the SEC has set in the last decade, nevertheless, this season. So, yeah, I think they've done plenty.
Thanks for answering that. And we talk all teams on here all the time. And so I got to actually catch a lot of hell from Texas fans for talking too much about other teams. But had to ask.
Really?
Yeah, sorry. See, I've been called it. One guy in the comments that's in here now thinks I love Texas Tech. Nash thinks I love A&M. It is what it is, man. But I'm interested, just like you, interested in it all. And so I think they've obviously done enough. Very impressive come from behind victory to win that series versus LSU, and the Arms seem to, again, they had a tough series with Kentucky where they gave up a lot, but those 3 Arms are going to keep them in a lot of baseball games. It was only a matter of time before the lineup woke up a little bit, came to life. So I hate it, but it is what it is, and there's a chance it's looking like where Texas and A&M see each other there in the SEC baseball tournament. So
it'll be interesting to see if they keep that no conference opponents in the same regional, because it's going to be hard.
If you put 14 teams in, right?
Damn. Yeah, who would want to play?
You're going to have 16 regionals, right?
Yeah, who would want to play the 14th SEC team in their regional?
Nobody.
I mean, think about it. Think about it. You've got, there's going to be a situation where they're going to get gifted. Hey, have fun with 2 seed. That'll be fun. Sick, guys. Have a blast with Tim Corbin, one of the greatest coaches in the history of the sport. Congratulations on your awesome season.
Yeah, Kentucky. Like, who wants to battle those guys?
Like, hey, here's this big green box of donkey somethings.
Yeah, Mississippi State's fighting for their lives. Ole Miss, Ole Miss is up at the, in the middle of it, but they could easily fall back,
Well, and Jack, no pressure on this, but again, since we got you here, if you had to give an updated top 3, an SEC power rankings, if you will, for the top 3, who would you go with at the moment?
Ooh, that's good.
It's tough because when you add in an A&M and you add in a Florida, and these teams playing really, really well.
Top 3.
I got
top
mine.
3.
I got mine if he wants to wait.
Go for it, Nash.
Rip it.
Go for it, Nash. Go for it.
Look. See, this is where I might get some Texas fans mad at me. Arkansas 1, Texas 2, LSU 3.
That's your top 3.
That would be my 3 power rankings. I know LSU just lost this weekend, but I'm not really that worried about it.
I agree with Arkansas being 1. Arkansas is 1, in my opinion. Texas is 2. And I like LSU, but I don't know, man. There's some things that scare me about them that not in a good way. Like, I don't know. I can't go with them in 3, but it's a coin flip for 3. I don't really have a favorite there.
I'll say this: the reason why I chose LSU is I've seen them come back too many times in games, and that's just a dangerous quality in teams. Like they're similar but different than Texas. Like they were early in the year on the I think I forget where they were playing, like Creighton or something like that. It was like a tournament in Kansas State. Kansas State has them on the ropes, and then they just come back swinging. Another game that weekend, similar thing. There's just been so many times that they've been down and out almost, and here comes the haymaker, and then you got Jared Jones walks up to the plate and says, "Nah."
And Avery, I would say A&M would be my 3 if it wasn't A&M. If they were wearing any other brand, I would give it to them.
I love it. I love that.
If they were wearing any other brand, they're my 3. They are good. I've tipped my hat to Caden. I played against Cade Stewart. I coached against him. Throw him inside on the hands, can't hit it. Throw him anything outside over the plate, he's going to hit it over the yard. Like
just get him in burnt orange, man.
Like Jesus. That dude. Yeah, I want to get him in burnt orange. I don't know who's going to do that, Jack, but I'm going to put it on you to get him done.
We'll call the powers that be. Unfortunately, this guy with the pencil doesn't have the push to be able to make it happen.
Oh, come on now.
I'm serious about that whole. I'm serious about the whole lottery ticket thing, man. If I get that lottery ticket hit, man, I'm walking over to Searle's house. $4 million. Let's go. Hey, you're coming to Austin.
$4 million? Holy cow, dude!
I don't care. I'm dedicated to this thing, man.
Jack doesn't make that much, does he?
No, let me tell you,
it's his NIL package.
Yeah, well, let me make something about
$4 million in pencils, baby.
He probably comes for $3 million. You got another $1 million to use for some bullpen work. So you got.
I'm also hitting up Case and Cunningham. Hey, look, I'm losing all my lottery money real quick. But Texas is going to get real good, and we're going to get real good in a short amount of time.
Justin, let me teach you something. Coach is coaching us up here. The pencil business is not treating me that well. It's the best passion project of my life.
Hey, I've got a closet. I'm a teacher. I've got a closet full of pencils, man. I can donate about $1,000.
You guys got me
towards that $4 million.
Oh, we're the boys.
You back? We can hear you now, Jack. I think you're back.
Yeah. We need to get the NIL pencils going, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, let's make that thing happen. Soriel, I know where you live. At least I think I do.
I think I do.
You guys, every time I get overwhelmed, I get thrown out of this group chat. Justin, coach was getting us coached up. You take that lottery money, you put it in a Roth IRA, you buy a house, and you watch the Longhorns from your comfy first row seat, brother. We don't go give it away right away. I love where your head's at, but I couldn't afford $14 worth of pencils right now. Nevertheless. Caden Sorrell. I love where your head's at.
We will admit to being, irresponsible adults, Jack.
Thanks.
Yeah, no. You want to talk about irresponsibility, man? Yeah, that's me. Right now. That's me. I'm
with it.
I am the equivalent of the like the "This Is Fine" meme where the dude's in the room with fire. Yeah. That cup of coffee is Texas baseball and football for me, and I'm just chilling in that room, just like we're good.
I love it, and I love you. That's fantastic. I'm all in. Say less. I'll do it. Yeah, screw it. Who cares? Let's make it happen. Fantastic.
I know now we're absolutely going to have to beat some allegations regarding getting swept one time and starting to advocate for Aggie baseball players. There'll be there's a couple of Aggies here in the comments. I'll take that and run with it. But
Avery's putting her best foot forward, man.
It's just a testament to how good that young man is, and it is what it is. But, all right, Jack, we need your top 3. You've had plenty of time, my man. You even tried to leave once or twice. We got to hear your top 3.
Yeah, it's a big league move on my end. I'll go. I'll stick with my boys at D1, Texas, Arkansas, but I'll give you a new name, LSU. I to your point, you're scared of a lot of different issues, and I know exactly what you're talking about. They just got guys that love the moment. Like they're an Omaha team. I would bet the arm and leg on them. Like if I had to, just because Jay Johnson's that good of a coach, I think. I'll give me Georgia in that 3 spot though. Texas, really? Arkansas, Georgia. All right. So let me tell you about Georgia. They are the only team in the SEC that has 10 plus guys that have thrown 10 plus innings in SEC play. I think what they're doing on the mound is super calculated. What people see as a lack of arms, I see as like a science experiment. What they're doing is very fascinating to me, and I love the offense. I really do, and I know you guys saw them in ATX at the Dish, but I actually really like it a lot. It's a really interesting blend. I know a lot of people talk about Wes Johnson and the analytics and the pitching guru, and he handles his own staff, and I think that's what he gets his rocks off to is being able to help young arms and to watch the development of a guy like Brian Curley, who went from frankly facing guys like me in the A10 to some of the best bats in the history of the sport in the SEC. Like, that's not an accident. I like Georgia a lot. I think that's a really scary team come postseason play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I was wondering.
I wanted to give a weird name. I wanted to get weird for you guys.
Well, and
I
I think the whole pitching staff thing that you mentioned is really interesting because, one, it's a situation where if they're late in the game, or if they're in late in the season and they're in Omaha, making an Omaha push.
Yep.
If they got a guy that's out there on the mound that's giving up hits, get him out. We can put him. We can, if he's only pitched 15, that's a bullpen, right?
Yeah.
Let's get another guy in. Let's let him reset, and you have so many options to go to.
You're talking about Georgia?
It's the equivalent of almost having like a bunch of really good hitters, and you can pinch hit.
And I mean, you say it sounds crazy, pulling a guy after 15 innings. We've seen it in college baseball. We've seen it in the postseason tournament where a guy he doesn't have it, and for them, they'll have a lot of arms that if the experiment goes according to plan, that they can trust and depend on when it really, really matters. But I can't say Georgia. I can't put them up there. I was wondering. I kind of thought Robert was going to do it, and then I was like, okay, Jack's not going to do it. Jack did do it. I'm going Arkansas 1 after what we just saw. I missed Friday and Saturday, but I did go back and rewatch a lot. And again, to beat Texas the way that no one else has this season, it takes a pretty special group or a pretty special couple of days for a club. And so I'll give Arkansas their credit there. I'm going to leave Texas in the 2-hole because, it's just one weekend. But I will go ahead and give credit, and I hate to say it, but I'll go ahead and make the Aggies day. I think
Ghost, don't do it, man.
Hey,
I told you he's an Aggie. I told you he's
an Aggie. There's a really good trend line, though, when I start speaking really positive about Texas A&M. Y'all just have to let it work out. All right. Okay. All that matters is in the end, that they're not lifting any trophies. What happens between then and now, it doesn't matter. But they're really close to making me break out the tweet. Nashville knows what I'm talking about. There was a big tweet last year. I got blamed for that last season. I got blamed for the loss. I got blamed for Schloss leaving. A lot of things were said to me.
Good.
So I'm going to break it out again if this doesn't work. But I've got A&M in the 3-hole. They're playing pretty damn good. Again, they've got 3 more wins coming versus Mizzou, and then they get Georgia. But again, it's in Athens, not in old Bluebell Olson Park or whatever the hell it's called, because it matters so much where a series is played. It means anything. You have to ignore the results and look first where that series is played. So, Jack, sorry I cut you off big time. What were you going to say, brother man?
No, you didn't cut me off. I will say that you all know the social media world far better than I do. 6 years of college, and it feels like I'm starting all over learning the social media game. You do know, Ghost, they're only going to clip and cut out the parts of you saying that you think Texas A&M's playing really good baseball, right? Like, that's all everything, the reverse jinx, the fade, all that's fine. They're only going to clip the one part, right?
They're on to me though, man. That they know. they already know. I can post something about the Aggies, and they're immediately in shambles because they're like, is he being genuine? Is he being an asshat right now, trying to jinx our really good baseball program? And sometimes I'm gonna be honest with you, Jack. It's gotten to the point where I don't even know anymore. Like I really don't. Okay. Sometimes I don't have a clue. But
you're like the Joker out there with the.
What Jack is trying to say is that when they cut this clip.
Yeah,
we all of us are going to be tied into that clip. You know that, right?
Yeah. Watch this. Watch this.
Hey, Robert says I'm not going to be any. He's not going to be a part of
zero. I did not
A&M stuff at all.
Hey, watch this.
Robert, I just want to say, man, I love y'all's families, like the level of hate that y'all carry for A&M. It inspires me, man. It inspires me as a fan.
It's not even hate, though. It's not like I go around and I have an Aggie flag upside down in my classroom or anything like that. Like I do have that, but like I don't buy Aggie gear, and like what Arkansas fans were doing this weekend with their flags upside down. I won't give them my money. I just I'm good with not even acknowledging them, and we can move on and live life peacefully. But I'm going to send you a picture because I do have the Aggie flag upside down. I'm sorry. That is in my classroom.
Hey, you know what?
And I do take a lot of hell for that. I do get a lot of grief.
It probably is. Sadly, saying this is probably true. It probably worked out that we lost, and you didn't have to experience Arkansas fans after we beat them, because I've heard some like really, really bad stories of like people being chased to their cars.
Dude, you don't know what happened this weekend. My 11-year-old was getting called out by a bunch of Arkansas college kids as we were walking to the truck. I nearly got into a brawl with a bunch of Arkansas college kids because of my 11-year-old who was just walking to the truck. It was the most. My kids in the truck crying, dude. It was awful.
They are really some mean people. They're nasty.
That's what I'm talking about. Is like that stuff doesn't fly with me. I was so heated. That's why I left Saturday morning, because I knew not only am I going to have to call Jack to back me up, but I'm having to, I was digging through my Rolodex. That was like, no one, like, all right, I better get home because I'm going to be in so much trouble getting into this one. And in my 11-year-old, I know he's got my back, but geez, I can't take on all those college kids.
Hey, call Ethan and say, head home from the tarmac, head back from the tarmac, bro. I need the whole team. I need the whole squad, bro. I need everybody.
Those guys were on a plane ready to get back.
Yeah, and my dad, he used to, he's even confirmed this for me. Like when he was going up to games, back when he like in like the 80s and 90s, bless his heart, going up to games in the 80s back then for Texas football. But he used to have to carry an extra shirt, so he'd change out of his burnt orange stuff before he gets to the gas station, because they literally will not sell you gas if your truck's on empty.
Yeah,
they'll just leave you stranded.
And we wore burnt orange the entire weekend, my son and I. And it was like, all right, next time, dude, we have to have a better plan. I'm telling you, we were so unprepared for everything. But I don't
Arkansas
see
fans
I don't see the Aggies doing that, and I would never do that to them and all that. It's not like that. Like I would never go there, and especially to a little kid, man, wearing a uniform. Like that stuff doesn't fly with me.
Kids should automatically be off limits.
No, that was off limit. But the old man, I'm telling you, 64-year-old man going horns down, going bananas. Like I don't have that kind of hatred for A&M. I'm good with just not even acknowledging them. But like he's looking at my son and doing this to him, and I mean, I literally was going to get in a fight there at the stadium too. It was like, dude, come on. Like a little kid like that. And the swim coach for Arkansas, he was sitting behind me. He goes, dude, I'm so sorry, man. That's totally unacceptable, dude, for that man to be acting the way he's acting. Like it was that egregious.
I hate it for you, man.
I would never do that to an Aggie fan. I would never act like that towards people. No, that's just not cool. But so my hate for Aggies is a funny kind of like it's not that important.
Love to give them shit.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Big difference. And my thing is you have any visitor come to a ballpark, it's like I want them to want to come back to that venue. And if anything, just appreciate how much you care for your team. You know what I mean? Like you can be loud, you can make noise, you can be supportive and yell, chant, scream like you should. But as far as, I mean, there's even, you see playful ribbing going on between fans, Texas and A&M fans that, like people that are like, okay, there are bigger things in life than what happens in the 3 or 4 hours that I'm at this venue. But that is tough, man. I hate for the most part. You can handle that, but I hate that your 11-year-old, next time he thinks about going up there and watching a game in Arkansas, is probably like, maybe I don't want to do that. And that's the part that bothers me the most about that. But I will say this, I almost got sent to the moon by an Arkansas fan back in the 2014 Texas Bowl, which was not a fun experience, if anybody was wondering. We ran for -2 yards. We scored once. Arkansas beat us into the ground. But before that game, we're tailgating. Kickoff's like 8 p.m. We get out there at like 4 to tailgate because NFL stadiums only allow you to tailgate in parking lots 4 hours before kickoff. And there's a group of Arkansas women next to us who were having their fun too and stuff. And we had interacted with them a little bit, but they were taking a big group photo. And it's me and 3 other guys. And we just kind of like photo bomb their photo, put the horns up. They don't know that we're there or anything. And then like 30 minutes later, this like, I swear he's just straight from the hills of Arkansas, comes down, big guy. It's cold this day. It's late December. It's the Texas Bowl, and he's just wearing the red suspenders, nothing else. And he's like, "Hey, fellas, I saw that picture, and this is a much bigger rascal than any of us. We're all like 20 years old at the time." He's like, "Saw that picture," and he was like, "I think it'd be a smart move if you went ahead and deleted that." We understood. And we're all just like, I mean, this dude was massive. And we were just kind of like laughing. And he takes like 2 steps towards us. And we're like, oh, shit. He's like legitimately not playing around. Could kill us all before we get out a yell or a screamer. Because we're, again, 4-on-1, still not fighting this cat. Not worth it. He's the type of guy, he hits you one time in the chest and he's got your win in a bag and he's selling it out there outside of the Reliant Stadium. Like, you want no part of this cat. So right then and there, I was like, okay, like, I'm not going to mess with many Arkansas fans in my life. It's just not going to be something we do. But they hate us. And I'm glad for college baseball, for college football, that rivalry is back, as long as everybody can keep it, respectable to a certain, extent. But Jack, you got any good Arkansas? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do I have any good Arkansas stories? I was at that Texas Bowl. I like how you failed to mention what happened in that game, because that was the worst 3 hours of my fucking life. Of my life.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell them.
I mentioned the -2
football game.
Rushing yards.
Oh, you did say it? I'm sorry. I got kicked out of the game.
Hey, Jack. Hey, you know what, though? This was all part of what we had to go through to be able to get to where we have Sark.
Yeah, that's true. It was awful.
Dude, you got to go through the depths of hell to get to the peaks.
Yeah, 31-7
final.
If you weren't here with me for Tyrone Swoops, you don't get to hang out with me for Arch Manning. You're just not allowed to. I'll see you guys at DKR.
I love it.
Yeah,
bro. I was making videos in 2020 and 2021 for the love of the game.
You didn't what? He bailed. He bailed.
No, we're actually still live, so this is actually ironic.
If you weren't
about that, but
dude. If you weren't hanging out with us for the 18-wheeler offense on 3rd and longs, you don't get to enjoy the fruits of a college football playoff twice,
bro. Like, when Caleb Blewett is one of your best passing options. We're not in a good spot, man. We're not in a good spot.
You don't get to hang out for Quinn Ewers if you don't remember David Ash. Don't talk to me about Payne.
Hey, you're going way back.
Yeah, oh yeah, Payne.
Way back Jack, baby.
Dude, I mean, like, I'll tell you right now, like this like it completely hit me out of nowhere. Like, Jack was because I was a big fan of his Omaha stuff last year, and then like we're in the football season. I'm posting something about football. And he's like, hook 'em horns, fuck yeah, brother. Something like that. And I was like, oh, he's a Longhorn fan. And he's a big one, too.
No. I'll put it like this. I've been very blessed and very honored to tell some really cool college baseball stories. And that's like, for me, like, Ghost, I know you might get some Aggie hatred. I got caught in the crosshairs when people found out that, like, I grew up a Longhorn fan. But the truth is, man, I got some friends in that Aggie dugout. Like, there's a reason they invited me to come and hang out with them. Before every game, like, those are the boys, and they gave me a lot of shit, and rightfully so.
Look,
but
Zach,
but to Nash's point, I wasn't freaking out about Sark's play calling in the playoff. I was freaking out about it 3 years ago on a Saturday against Kansas. I've been on this. So I talk all this shit. And then sure enough, to get to bring my dad out to Dish and to get to celebrate his birthday with the Longhorns and Burnt Orange, and hasn't been back to Austin since he went to school there. It was special as hell. Like, really was magical. And then to see Sark walk half a foot away from me to throw out the first pitch, and my dad look at me and go, "You're such a bitch. You won't say anything." I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I won't." You're right.
I love it,
Bro,
man.
hey, Jack, I love your dad, man. I was talking with him while you were off, like, doing some interviews, man. That dude is funny. I will say, I was trying, because, like, I know you were laughing about, like, when Robert was saying, some of the stuff that they were saying about the umpire at the Arkansas game, and you're just over here laughing. I was like, you know what? Like, some of these guys are real. Like, Jack is, like, really friends with these guys. I'm not gonna. I can't be heckling these A&M batters too much, man. Jack's gonna reach over here and smack me.
They're also about 10 feet away from you, and there's just a net in between y'all. So at the end of the day, Nash, you gotta be a little bit careful.
I maintain I've talked shit to Jay Slavlet one time, and that was the last time I'll ever do it because he hit a home run. I was like, off limits. You're good.
Off limits.
I gotta say, I apologize for the connection issues, but when I'm in backstage trying to get into my own show and I'm listening to Jack bring up the 18-wheeler package, I mean, I almost just closed it all down, deleted the channel. We were talking about being in the mud with the Arkansas Razorbacks all weekend, and we went ahead and took a full-on bath and went way back in time. I guess it's my fault. I brought up the 2014 Texas Bowl, but
I am never traveling up that way unless I'm going with you guys.
Hey,
it's
Coach,
gotta be a gang going up there, man.
Coach, I'll ride shotgun.
Yes,
Coach, I'll ride shotgun. I like to pick a fight.
Please.
I'm all in.
Oh man, I was ready to go, dude, and I looked over at my 11-year-old's in tears, and I was like, "This
Jack,
is
I'm not sure if you still got the RV, man. I got a trailer. I got a trailer. We can pack up.
I was so ready to go, man. It was like, let's freaking go. This is what I've been wanting as an old man, to fight some college kids over a baseball game and watch let my 11-year-old see like the old El Paso boy come out of me.
yeah.
And then he was in tears.
So we gotta go full circle here. So with your other boy, I get the opportunity to meet you out in left field was so incredibly awesome. Really getting to meet all of Longhorn Nation, but getting to talk with you before the weekend, and man, I've been such a huge fan of watching your son play. To get to meet you was so awesome. So Saturday goes Big Fly, and obviously it's well documented, y'all's story and kind of what you had shared with us, and like how cool it was to see him playing in this uniform. So in the media room after the game on Saturday, he goes Big Fly. I go, "Hey, I'm here with my pops. I got to ask a question about his dad. I just met him yesterday. I got to show some love." I go, "Hey, you leave the yard in this series, but to do it with friends and family in the building, that must have been pretty special." And he goes, "Actually, my dad was coaching today." I go, "No! Oh, I jinxed it." I go, and then the rest of the media room's laughing at me. And I was like, I thought I had the intel. I was hanging out with Coach. Shit.
Hey, well, Jack, see, here's the thing that messed you up, man, was you saw him out of left field the day before, and you were like, "Yeah, okay, yeah,
I'm locked in. I'm locked in." Yeah,
The Mendoza curveball.
Oh man, it was such a curveball that like I was getting texts from all my friends down there, and they're like, "Dude, did you see it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was fun, man. On TV, it was great." They're like, "There's no way you're at home." And I'm looking at my 11-year-old because I help coach his team.
You're coaching, hell yeah.
I'm trying to win 11U national championships. Forget what's happening with A&M in Texas. That's not even important.
No, exactly.
I looked over and I looked at my 11-year-old. I said, "Bro, I'm so glad you played well today."
Dude, you know who else is? You know who's really happy that you were there as well?
Who's that?
Jim Schlossnagle going, "Hey, I got the class of 37 ready to rock and roll. Let's ride, baby." I got an 11U natty champ. You think Ethan's good? Wait till little bro shows up.
Oh man,
Hey Jack. Hey Jack. I said that this is my new narrative that Jim Schlossnagle moved to Texas so that he could coach Ethan Mendoza.
oh
Yeah,
man,
that's it.
oh man, that's a lot of pressure, dude. That is a lot of pressure.
You just said it.
Hey, if he can hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball out of the yard with bases loaded against Arkansas, then all right, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. But until then, dude, we've got to grind out some more ABs before that could be a true narrative there.
Let's go ahead and speak that right on into existence. Maybe down the line here and later, May or not May, but in June. I'd rather it happen in June than May. Give it to me in
Let's
Omaha.
go. Big moment. Let's do it.
Guys, thank y'all for doing this. Thank y'all for being here. Could talk with you three for hours. Jack, any final words? Sign yourself off if you want. Tell the people where they can get all your content because it's in several different places. You're killing it.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, boys. Jack DeLong's on Instagram, Twitter, Pencil Talk. You can pretty much look it up on any site that I can shove it down viewers' faces. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and all. My final words, though, I don't know. It's going to piss everybody off, but I might as well do it. Hook 'em horns, boys. Appreciate y'all having me.
Oh, dang.
We got a hook 'em horns. I'm sure we could even get a horns up if,
I don't know if
he
you
was
can
here.
see that or not, but give that dude a like right there for the horns up, baby.
Look at the
Pencil
boys.
Talk on Twitter, baby.
Pencil
Love
Talk.
it, man.
Give him a
Pencil
follow.
Talk. Follow Pencil Talk. Check them out on YouTube as well. You'll see Jack. He's making his rounds around all of SEC Twitter, YouTube. He's on all the shows doing a lot of good work. Again, y'all know where you can find Mr. Nash Talks Texas. Dozer Baseball will be back here with us on Monday when we're talking about the Horns coming off a series win versus Florida. We're going to go ahead and speak it into existence real quick. I guess we didn't do one thing. We got to get quick predictions from everybody. Robert, you go first, my man. Florida, Texas. Who wins the series and how many games?
Texas 2-1. Texas 2-1 all the way. I think that Florida's hot right now, but I think Texas comes out ready to go. I think they're going to have enough rest between now and then, and they'll emotionally be ready. And coaching staff is going to coach their butts off, ready get the guys ready to go and finish this thing on a high note. So I'm excited for that. 2-1.
Love it. Love that. Nash.
I'm going 3-0. I think the boys are pissed off.
A pissed off Texas. Love that.
Yeah.
What do you say, Jack? You care to pick a winner here?
2-1 in a rubber match. Hook 'em. I like
Rubber
the.
match
I
Sunday.
like they. Yep. They tinker on Sunday and they find the right mechanism. Here's the call, too, boys. If you Tennessee
I love a
from a
Sunday
year
win,
ago.
man.
Yeah, it's all about winning on the third day. That's it when it comes to postseason play. Figure out who throws on that day, just like Tennessee did with Xander Seacrest in that Sunday starter role. You just got to get hot when it matters most. They find the right guy, they find the right juju, they'll be ready to rumble.
Love to hear it. I'm actually going to go the same route, 2-1, rubber match win. Jason Flores on the bump for Texas, potentially turning it over to Burns. So we're going to have Grubsy in there Friday or Saturday. I love when Burns is on the mound, too. 2-1 Texas. That makes it a clean sweep. Shocker on a Texas pod, but it is what it is, and Texas was going to show up. Texas will show up, play some damn good baseball. Fellas, again, thanks for being here. You guys that were watching and commenting, thank y'all so much. Show wouldn't be what it is without you. Please go like the video for Mr. Jack and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. We'll see y'all next Monday night at 8:30.